Hello, everyone. I'm Selena, and I am an outreach co-lead on 2468. Welcome to our second First in Focus presentation. Today with us, we have Nora from Girls of Steel, Kelsey and Shrestha from Team Appreciate, Timothy and Catherine from FTC Club Oreo, and Isabella, Julia, Kaylee, and Sarah from Pearadox. Georgia from Today's focus is on recruiting, developing, progressing, and promoting girls in STEM. All questions will be answered at the end, but feel free to drop any questions you might have in the Q&A box during the presentation. If you have a specific question for a team, please type out the name of the team you're addressing along with your question. Let's get started with Nora on recruiting.
Hello. Like she said, I'm Nora, a junior. I'm a member of Girls of Steel. We're a girls-only team around Pittsburgh, PA, and we're mentored by Carnegie Mellon University. And we believe in empowering everyone, especially women and girls, to believe they're capable of success in STEM. Okay. So first, I just wanted to talk about why it's important that we focus on recruiting girls and women in STEM. And as you can see to your chart on your right, um, there is a decrease from middle school to high school of girls' interest in STEM. And we see that because there's not enough STEM resources. I will say in my personal experience, when I was in middle school and I figured out that I was interested in STEM, it was really difficult for me to pursue that interest because of the lack of resources I found in my community until I found Girls of Steel. So to combat this issue, Girls of Steel has the pipeline that can start as early as kindergarten, where if girls know they want to pursue STEM, Girls of Steel provides the resources to maintain that interest all the way up to high school as a senior in high school. And this pipeline has been really successful. Everyone in our FRC team, about 86% of us, continue on past high school to pursue STEM. So on the next slide, this just explains the pipeline. And we first start with girls. We first start with FLL Junior and FLL. And as girls progress along the pipeline, they progress to FTC and FRC. And alongside first teams, we also have our media efforts, our outreach efforts, our chassis project, and the summer camps that we have. So one of our biggest outreach efforts is our Girls of Steel Symposium, and it is last year it held 120 girls in a room at Carnegie Mellon University, and we've held this event since 2016. Our main audience is 4th to 8th grade girls because, like I mentioned before, we see there's a lack of STEM resources for middle school girls. So this is just an event to provide that resource and engage girls into STEM and give them the resources to keep going with their STEM interests. And within this event, that includes presentation, robot demos, and activities. The presentations are not only from the girls on the team, but it's also from professors and mentors from Carnegie Mellon. And we've had robot demos. Those include our competition robots that we have, and also robots that are built at CMU. And then some of the activities are hands-on activities. So that includes our chassis project, which is a project with about a 50-pound robot with really easy instructions for girls to use, and it gives them a sense of what a typical robotics team would be doing during build season, where they're building a robot that can go around the room and such. And in previous years, we've had girls take apart hair dryers and build them back up. And we had other activities like that were hands-on. This whole event is really special because we we consider this an all hands event, which means that we expect every girl on the team to sign up and engage with this event. And that means creating a presentation, presenting or engaging with the girls that are at the engaging with the girls that at the event. When I was running the event, I talked to a lot of the girls and made it really personable by talking about my experience on the team and with STEM with these middle school girls that either have never experienced STEM or were in the beginning stages of their interests. And we know this event is successful because about 25% of our team, our FRC team, joins after attending this event. And that is what you're looking at to the right, where you can see a big factor in reasons for joining Girls of Steel is just one of our outreach efforts. And this is different than our other ones because this is all girls run and it's created by us. A lot of our other outreach efforts are from companies asking us to have an outreach event at their place or where we get asked from other people to come and present or do an outreach event. But with the Girls of Steel Symposium, that's all created by the girls on the team and the mentors on the team. And to foster and sustain that relationship that we're making with the girls in middle school and the girls on FRC. Sorry. These are some pictures from the symposium. To the left, you can see how engaged the middle school girls really are in this event with the presenter. And then to your right, you can see one of the robot demos that we had. This robot that you see right here is Daisy, and it was created by the Carnegie Mellon Robotics Center. And you could just see like how excited and engaged the girls are at this robot and figuring out how it works. And another reason we know why this event is so successful and how we've had it since 2016, after each event, we have the girls fill out a survey to see if they have an interest in STEM or if they lost an interest in STEM. And 96% of the girls stated that their interest in STEM either went up or stayed the same afterwards, which really shows how successful it is in sustaining and fostering those STEM interests that might have gotten lost between middle school and high school. And to continue fostering that interest in STEM and creating a community, there is First Ladies, which is a program that helps create a community between other first teams and support women in STEM. We have 33 partner teams that support this initiative to create a community for girls in first teams. And we ourselves have been involved with this organization since 2016. And because of our big involvement with this organization, we became directors in 2019. And with that, we are maintaining and increasing our social media efforts and making sure that every first team knows about First Ladies and the community and the relationships that can be built between girls in every first team. And we've shown that through having movie nights, which you can see at the bottom right corner, or we've held events at competitions like Greater Pittsburgh Regional, where we have speakers come in and talk to the girls and really create relationships and empowerment with the girls on first teams. And we would like all of you to participate in this organization and be part of this initiative if you truly believe in creating and fostering that relationship. And you can contact us at firstladies@gmail.com. One of our goals as directors is to have a partner team in all 50 states. Yeah, so if you really believe in this initiative, please contact us. And just to recap on everything that we've talked about, the Girls of Steel Symposium inspires middle school girls to either pursue their interest in STEM, and out of all of our outreach efforts, we see that it is our most effective recruitment tool, seeing it as one of the main reasons why girls join our FRC team, and having 96% of the girls that come to this event either having a new interest of STEM or still continuing their interest of STEM. And I know just from being outreach lead that last year we've had the most girls come to this event. So as each year's passed, more girls have signed up for this event, which means more people are finding out about this event. And once girls join FIRST and get involved with FIRST, we continue to foster that interest and relationship by creating a supportive community with First Ladies, which all FIRST teams can join, and we welcome all of you to join First Ladies if you truly believe in what we said here. But I want to thank you guys for listening, and if you have any questions about Girls of Steel Symposium or our recruitment tools, please email us, which was in the first slide. But thank you guys.
Great presentation, Nora.
Thank you.
The symposium is a really cool way to recruit girls in STEM. Next up, we have Kelsey and Shrestha on developing girls in STEM.
Hey guys, I hope you've been having a great day. I'm Kelsey. I'm a junior at Westlake. I've been in robotics for 3 years, and I'm currently our team STEM Girls lead, LilyPad project co-lead, and next year I will be an outreach co-lead with Shrestha.
Hi, I'm Shrestha. I'm also a junior at Westlake, and I've been in robotics for 3 years. As Kelsey said, I'm the other future outreach co-lead, and I've been part of the SACOT and pitching initiatives on our team. I'm also in charge of our team's website. We started our STEM Girls initiative in 2015. We were able to achieve a drastic increase in female participation and leadership on our team by creating a sustainable pipeline and building off of the values of FIRST. Each year, we not only host co-educational camps, but we also host camps targeted for young girls in our community and school district. From there, we're able to introduce them to STEM and encourage them to pursue it in the future. Our FIRST robotics program at our high school has experienced a 700% increase in female participation over the past 12 years. And now it has achieved 50% female leadership as of our 2020 season.
So when we first started our STEM Girls initiative, our team made a strong effort to make sure that every student was comfortable with the other robotics students. The females on our team created Smart Girls lunches to get to know each other and create a sense of community within themselves. Knowing that they had team members that they could go to with any questions or concerns helped the new members feel more confident in taking the first step for their personal learning. Then in the future, other new members after them experienced the same kind of supportive environment, which helped develop our team culture.
We then developed our sustainable pipeline, in which we continuously inspired the young girls in our district and exposed them to real-life applications of STEM. We guide them through the different levels of FIRST, from FLL to FRC. We have been able to start and mentor 2 all-girls teams. Last year, Club Oreo, the FLL team, was a Champion Award finalist. This year, the girls decided to start a new path and advance through the pipeline to FTC, where they now compete as First Tech Cookies. You'll be hearing from them later on tonight. Along with starting and mentoring teams, we also collaborate with our all-girls FTC teams to host camps throughout the year, such as our MLK Day Camp and the Ice Cream Social.
Every year in the fall, we host our first STEM Girls event of the season at our high school. At the Ice Cream Social, people in STEM, from elementary school students to industry professionals, have the chance to network and talk about their unique experiences in STEM. As attendees eat Amy's ice cream, we engage them in fun activities. After everyone's done eating, we demo our FRC robot and give the younger attendees a tour of our FTC and FRC shop so they can gain insight into a possible future in high school robotics. My favorite part of this event is when we allow the younger girls to drive our robot around the school. Our main goal with the Ice Cream Social is to open doors for young girls. We host this event as an opportunity for them to connect and network with not only the girls on our team, but also the industry professionals. We keep the event casual and allow students and adults to talk about anything they have questions about at their own pace, so that way the attendees can make the most of their conversations. We love having the professionals at the social so we can hear from these women who have found their passion in the STEM field. They inspire the younger attendees by sharing many unique careers and showing just how many career paths are available with a STEM education.
Our second STEM Girls event of the year is on MLK Day. 3rd to 5th graders get to program and modify a LEGO EV3 robot to complete simple tasks from the Mission to Mars curriculum. Along with EV3s, the elementary school kids get to program Spheros. Our main goal with this event is for the younger kids to be inspired by the robots and continue to pursue STEM or even join an FLL team or junior FLL team in the district. The 6th to 8th graders are put in groups of 2 or 3 where they build the drive base of an FTC robot. They then modify their robots to compete in an easy FTC challenge to push little plastic blocks into portions of the field, receiving points. This helps the middle school girls see what FTC could be like and encourages them to join an FTC team in middle school or one of our 6 high school FTC teams. Along with building robots, we give all the students a tour of the shop and our facilities. Through MLK Day Camp, these girls get a hands-on opportunity to simultaneously learn hard skills as well as develop soft skills. One of the most important parts of this whole event is to inspire the girls for the future. We show them what they could be involved with, like FLL or FTC. Then at the end of the day, we show them the end goal, a quick glimpse at our robot, giving them insight into their potential future in FIRST Robotics.
So when we asked one of our technical leads why she felt comfortable taking on a leadership position, this is what she said. There's no negative connotation toward being a female lead, so I felt empowered by my mentors and the leads before me. Through the welcoming environment created by our team, students like Avni have the freedom to find and pursue their passions, and each individual has their own unique story. Team culture is what our high school program is built on. We actively improve our team culture through regular team discussions to build and maintain a positive, encouraging environment. This is a big attribute toward our success in female leadership, ranging from the technical aspects of our program to our community outreach projects. We're proud to say that over 80% of our female team members pursue STEM-related studies in college.
Through STEM Girls events like these, we continue to grow our pipeline of young girls who are motivated to take on these roles on their first teams and in their communities. Many go on to join our high school FRC teams and eventually take on leadership positions.
I hope you guys enjoyed our presentation. Thank you for listening. We have the question and answer section at the end, so feel free to leave us any questions in the chat.
Thank you, Kelsey and Shrestha. Up next, we have Unithi and Catherine on progressing through FIRST.
Hi, I'm Catherine.
And I'm Unithi.
And we are part of FTC Club Oreo 17161. We are an all-girls middle school FTC team consisting of 9 members. Many of us transitioned from FLL or VEX to FTC. Throughout this season, we learned a lot and made it our main goal to get many girls involved in STEM and FIRST.
The pipeline is a system of inspiration, knowledge, and transition. We design the pipeline for children, especially girls, to get inspired at a young age, allowing for development. Along the way, the people higher up in the stages of the pipeline continue to pass skill and information down to the younger generation. The purpose of this is to keep the ambition and passion for STEM and FIRST alive. And the only way to do this is to inspire the same passion for robotics into the kids progressing through the pipeline. Personally, I've been in the pipeline for a long time, transitioning from 4 years of FLL to FTC and hopefully FRC in the future. My sister was my role model. I watched her come home every day from robotics, talking about her experiences and all the fun she had in FTC and FRC. I heard those stories and I knew I wanted to be a part of that someday. When joining the program, I also continued to pass my passion for STEM to girls I met at school science fairs, to girls that I mentored that went to win awards at their local FLL tournaments. As transitioning from FLL to FTC, we moved up a step in the pipeline, now working to teach the current kids in FLL based on our experiences. The role we play is very critical, both as someone coming up through the pipeline who is following in the footsteps of others, but also as a role model for younger kids.
As an all-girls team, we made it our mission to get more girls involved in STEM. Over the course of this season, our team became a First Like a Girl ambassador for Texas, an initiative started by FRC Exploding Bacon. The hashtag is a social media movement to encourage girls and women in STEM and FIRST. By showcasing the many incredible women of FIRST and their stories, girls can find role models who they identify with and are inspired by. Whenever we do outreach, we work to spread the First Like a Girl initiative. We show that girls can accomplish major things in the field of STEM and can be involved in the FIRST community in the future. To spread this initiative, we are actively involved with other ambassadors all over the world, making plans on how to connect with teams, whether it is through Skype or in person. Recently, we had a Zoom meeting with over 45 girls discussing our experiences as girls in FIRST throughout the season. When I first started robotics, there were hardly any girls. Through these calls, I realized how many more girls are involved with this FIRST community than I realized, creating a safe place for us to share what we've learned. Throughout my life, I was exposed to many clubs that involve STEM, including Destination Imagination, Future City, and Robotics. When I was on these teams, there were very few girls showing interest in STEM. After knowing how much the STEM community can help and benefit you, I want to give back by giving more girls the opportunity to be involved in these programs. Through the social media campaign, we empower girls with the confidence to overcome many differences, follow their dreams in STEM, and become active members of the FIRST community.
Recruiting kids to be a part of the pipeline is the first part, but keeping them involved in FIRST is equally important. To keep kids interested in robotics, we need to build up their confidence by giving them skills to thrive. The camps, information sessions, workshops, and science fairs we attend and host provide the building blocks kids need to be successful in STEM, and therefore stay interested. At every point in the pipeline, kids have opportunities to give back by mentoring younger kids. FLL often mentors FLL Junior, FTC mentors FLL, and so on. Each of these opportunities is a chance for kids to be role models, which in turn builds their confidence. It is a reminder of how much they know and how far they've come. Studies show that boys may keep doing engineering merely because they enjoy the challenge. However, girls are most likely to stay motivated when they are able to see the meaningful impact they are having on the world. So it is especially important for girls to feel comfortable in this space. It shows them that they can achieve amazing things in STEM too. Getting more girls in STEM is very important, and it all starts with the pipeline and how we impact girls through FIRST. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Awesome presentation on progressing through the pipeline. Lastly, we have Isabella, Julia, Kaylee, and Sarah presenting about promoting girls in STEM.
Hi, my name is Isabella, and I am a Pearadox participant in the Gearbox Girls of Pearadox. And today we're going to be talking more so about how we promote girls in STEM with STEM Savvy, our magazine. So our magazine is something that we believe will help bridge the gender gap in STEM to where males are more dominant. So here we have Julia talking a little bit more about how she works with with the magazine that she makes on it.
Hey. I'm Julia, and we're going to do a quick walkthrough of the second issue of the magazine, which I worked on the most. So here you can see the cover, and as you can see on the next slide, it's actually electrical themed. And so we try to carry a theme of a specific STEM field throughout the whole issue. So as you can see on the next slide, there is, we have interviews. Yeah, we have interviews from electrical engineers. We have tool introductions and science activities that are also electrical themed. We even had a comic that one of our students drew. And so the magazine is truly student made. And I think there are a lot of different aspects kind of going into it. That's not just graphic design and writing articles. So I'm going to talk a little bit about like the technicalities of how we created the magazine. So personally, I work in Adobe InDesign, which is an Adobe program that we're lucky enough to get from our school. So our school district gives free Adobe Creative Clouds accounts to CTE classes and also different clubs that they support. And so we were able to get Adobe InDesign, which is a really nice program for printing. Yeah, you can see it here. So even though Adobe InDesign it sounds fancy, it's not that much better than other options out there, such as Canva and Visme. We use Canva a lot, and it's one of my favorites because it's both free, but it also it doesn't require a lot of I guess graphic design experience or creativity. It has a lot of templates out there, and it's really easy to create professional stuff without a lot of time or knowledge about it necessarily. So yeah, and then last I wanted to talk about how we fund our magazine. So STEM Savvy is a magazine that we print. We get them in 1,000 copy bundles with each issue, but it's pretty expensive to print each issue. And our really a big goal from the very start was to be able to give them for free, since the magazine's all about diversity and inclusion, and we really wanted to be able to make it accessible to everyone who needs it. So yeah, we submit grants, especially for engaging youth education or inclusion, and we contacted our sponsors to see if they could help us fund the printing of that. But in the end, if you're not able to raise funding for a project, it doesn't even have to be printing a magazine. What we did was we released it online first for free before we got the budget, because we could still make it at least a little more accessible with that. And at the end of our presentation, Sarah will tell you guys how to access the copies online for free. So yeah, another thing I do as leading the project is delegating kind of jobs for what other people, how other people can contribute to the magazine. So Kaylee's going to talk a little bit about how her photography really helps us create content for the magazine.
Hi, I'm Kaylee. Yeah, and like Julia said, what I usually do is I'm the photographer for Gearbox Girls, and so media is a very important thing because we don't want to just say, hey, we made a magazine. We want to say that we want to show and capture the moments of taking photos, and we want to just show what we do, like a girl using a power tool. And if we use a photo like that, then another girl who looks at the photo sees it, and they're gonna be inspired, and they're gonna picture themselves thinking, maybe I could do that. And another cool thing is that our photos are actually taken by our students. So we don't use internet photos or anything. They're all taken by our students. Another cool thing is that all of our photos are actually used for a magazine, our social media, which is Instagram and Facebook, and our website called gearboxgirls.weebly. Another awesome moment that I actually witnessed was when I went to a competition, we usually distribute magazines to other teams. And so one of the teams actually was called Thunder Chicas, which is, and it's the team is actually in the bottom left with the pink shirts. And so when we gave them the magazines, I don't think they saw me, but like I saw them smile, and that made me happy because it was actually really fulfilling for them to see it. And it's just like all that hard work, and then it's just super cool for them to like our magazine. It's just like, whoa. You know? And so I believe Sarah will be talking about how we distribute our magazines.
Yeah, thanks for that, Kaylee. So I'm Sarah. I'm a senior on the team, and I'm the public relations lead. So yeah, we think our magazine's awesome, and we really believe in the message behind it. But I mean, there's really no point in making it if we're not going to be able to spread that as much as possible. So distribution, it can be kind of intimidating at first, especially if you're just starting out with a big project like this. But the first way to start is just by word of mouth. Like Kaylee was saying earlier, we spread our magazines at our competitions, out of our outreach events. Actually, one outreach event in particular that we do is called Girls Gear Up with Girl Scouts, and every time we do it, we give all of them a magazine, and they all get to light up and see how great it is. Another thing that's really important for distribution is utilizing your connections. So I'm really lucky to have a job actually at a kids coding academy called Code Ninjas, and that's actually a job I got through my connection to the team. And so when the second edition, or the first edition of the magazine came out, I showed it to my boss and to the franchise owner, and they fell in love with it, and they were super excited about it. So the franchise owner actually asked me to get her a bunch, and she distributed them to each of her 3 franchises, and she was even interested in sponsoring for future editions. So that's like another thing that would help us get funding. Another great medium that's awesome for distribution is social media, like Kaylee mentioned earlier. We are very active on all of our social media accounts. You guys may have seen it. We're pretty famous for our mascot, Perry. So something that was awesome, some social media led to a really great opportunity for us because we posted about our magazine, and actually Julia reached out to a pretty popular Instagram blogger and asked her like what she thought about it and if she thought it'd be how she felt about the content. And she loved it so much that she felt called to like post it on her Instagram, and she has over 12,000 followers. So it was so amazing for us to be able to see that she believed in our mission so much that she posted it on her social media. Another awesome opportunity that we've had through just utilizing our connections is we were spreading it in our district, just spreading it around, talking to teachers, and actually a district person got a hold of it and she thought it was awesome, and so she had a connection with ABC 13, and so we were able to get featured on ABC 13, which is a Houston area news channel, and for our magazine specifically. So it was awesome that people from all over the Houston area were able to see our magazine and all of our hard work. It was really rewarding, just the fact that we put so much into it that they all got to see it. Something else that we have, obviously, Kaylee said earlier, was the website, which is called www.weebly.gearboxgirls. So we have all of our editions of our magazines on there, free to download. And that's also really good for tracking distribution because it gives us a download count, how many people have downloaded it and looked at it. And so it's important for us to track distribution and just know who we're distributing it to, because that's how we generate support for it. Obviously, we can't, like Julia was saying earlier, it's hard to fund this. So the more support and the more distribution we get, then the easier it is a project to sustain. And one of the last really awesome opportunities that we've been able to use our magazine for is we actually have great diversity on our team. So there's people on our team that are fluent in Chinese and Spanish. And so they were able to translate our first edition magazine into Chinese and Spanish. And we had some Chinese representatives come to our school because they wanted to learn how to create STEM programs at their school. So they come to our school to see an example of it. And so they were actually able to like see a copy of the magazine in their own language. I think that's really important because they can obviously resonate with it better and relate to more if it's in their own native tongue. So that was another really cool thing that we've been able to distribute it to them.
So something that's really, the reason we're doing all of this and the reason that we've spent so much time into this magazine is because we really want girls to see a different medium to how STEM can be outreached. It's our way of getting the word out there and promoting girls and showing them that this is something that they can do as well. It's not just like having all those male-dominated fields. We were trying to really get girls to be promoted and interested and engaged in STEM from where it's never really been advertised to before. So we post our magazine obviously for free on our Gearbox Girls website, where we try to get girls interested in all those engineering fields and maybe even medical fields and all the other type fields to where they aren't as represented. So this is our way of promoting girls and showing that they are capable of doing something that most people don't advertise to them, and show them that this is something that we feel is very important for them to engage into. So thank you guys for inviting us, and thank you guys for letting us speak to you all. If you guys have any questions about our magazine or anything else on how we promote, we'd love to answer your questions.
Thank you guys. The magazine is like a super cool idea. I really like it. But now we're going to move over to Q&A. So I'm going to turn this over to Arohi and Georgia.
Okay, thank you for sharing those awesome presentations, Girls of Steel, Pearadox, Club Oreo, and Team Appreciate. Next, we will be moving into a Q&A session like Selena mentioned. So if you have any questions for any four of the teams that presented, make sure to drop them in the Q&A box below. We're going to start off with our first question that came in from Chief Delphi, and this question is directed towards any team that would like to answer. The question is, how do you measure the impact of the Girls in STEM program, and what kind of impact have you seen? And any team can answer this question.
I can start. So like in my presentation, like I mentioned before, we make sure to have a survey after the Girls of Steel Symposium to make sure that we either started a STEM interest or we maintain the STEM interest, and we see that after the event that there's an increase. And then another impact that we see in our event is the amount of girls that sign up to our FTC team because of the Girls of Steel Symposium. As the outreach lead, out of all the outreach efforts that we have throughout the year, the Girls of Steel Symposium is one of our biggest that impacts our community. So yeah, that's how we know that our event is impactful.
Okay, thank you. Georgia will be asking our next question.
Okay, so our next question is from the chat, and it's for team 2468. How do you personalize the feedback in the ice cream social?
So the way that we regulate that in a way is we like to separate all of the attendees into different smaller groups, usually of less than about 10 people, and then to make sure that everyone gets their concerns or questions or any questions that they have for all of the professionals. We have little prompts in case they need questions to be that they think that they should ask, or we just leave the conversation open and prompt them themselves to ask whatever questions that they feel. And if not, we will spur the conversation ourselves in a direction where they might have questions about certain topics.
Okay, perfect. Our next question is for Club Oreo, and the question is, why did y'all switch from Bex to FTC?
So personally, I didn't do Bex, I did FLL, but a fellow teammate of mine, she did Bex, and I think Bex is sort of different from FTC in the way that it doesn't have like all the core value stuff, and that's a way it's really different. And I think the core value stuff really adds to FTC in the way that you get to learn how to work with people and you have like guidelines to go by. And you learn a lot that way.
Next question is for Team Pearadox. How often do you put out magazine issues?
I'll take this one. So I think kind of our goal, or when we first started the magazine project, was to have seasonal issues, especially because they all kind of have different themes. Unfortunately, we weren't not like able to stick to that that goal. What we're trying right now is to stockpile them, especially in like the quarantine time and summertime, to be able to have issues ready to kind of publish systematically like over the next year. So our first issue was published, I think spring of 2019. Our second issue was published late summer. Sorry. And our third issue is in the works right now, and our goal is to publish it by September.
Great. Our next question is also for Pearadox. Adding on to that, where do you get your ideas for your articles?
A lot of our articles are actually based on the interview because it's hard to get people to talk for our interviews for every single one. So what we do usually is get a role model female to provide an interview for us and give us an idea, and then the magazine is based off of with the research on that interviewer.
Our next question. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just wanted to add on to that a little bit. Something that I think is really cool about our magazine too is I think it really appeals to girls of all age ranges. So the interview I think is more of appeals to like an older girl, maybe looking who's starting to think about a career. We also have like a comic in there that's meant for more kids, you know, kind of whatever kids feel. And one of the things we try to do is have like a tool introduction because it's also meant to expose people who may have never been involved in STEM.
Basically, just asking a question helps you understand what's going on better and what you're working with, and also helps you get more familiar with the people that you're working with. So that way you can have that more than just teamwork, but having that connection with your other teammates.
Okay, thank you, Kelsey and Unity. Our next question is for any team that would like to answer. And the question is, what is the hardest part of this process of empowering girls in STEM? How do you overcome that challenge?
I think a lot of girls start off being pretty shy and like unsure of themselves when they go to a STEM event or want to jump in. And I think we overcome that just by giving them a lot of opportunities. And I think it's more welcoming when it's like from just girls, because you can see a role model that you can follow and you know that there is a place for you.
Our next question is for everyone. Who serves as an influence for you?
So who serves as an influence to me is definitely my mentor Kara, because she's like a great listener and like super helpful, and like whenever you like have an idea, she'll be like, she won't deny you or anything. She'll help you with it. She'll help you with your idea and make it come alive. I don't know if Julia or Sarah or Isabella wants to chime in on this.
Yeah, I think she's really supportive of a lot of the projects we do. And I think especially with something like as ambitious as the magazine, it's super important to have someone who's supporting you along the way, or at least, if not like a team mentor, then at least maybe a parent or a friend, or anyone who you can talk to and tell about kind of your ambitions.
Yeah, something I love about Kara too is the fact that she's not afraid to be vulnerable with us. Like, I think that it's easy whenever you have a mentor, they can seem perfect, and Kara makes a point to try not to be perfect and try to show some of her weaknesses, because then it makes her kind of more relatable to us, and we realize that we all struggle with certain things. So I like that a lot, that she's been able to do that with us.
Okay, thank you, Pearadox. Our next question is also for you guys, and it is, can other teams contribute to your magazine?
I think this is a really great question because I think we're always looking for ways we can like engage with other teams. For example, I think we put out a manual on how to start an event that we do at competition that's also related to kind of empowering girls. And I think it would be super fun to collaborate with other teams on the magazine. So if you want to, you can hit us up. And I think we'd be happy to.
Yeah, another really cool way to reach us is on our website, actually. That manual is for the event called Girls Get Together. And on our website, there's a tab to where you can join our Slack channel that for all about Girls Get Together questions. So all of our Girls Get Together, we invite like engineers and women from the STEM field to have conversations, but sometimes we don't get to cover everything we want at the events. So the Slack channel is a really great way to continue on conversations and ask questions. So if you guys are interested in the magazine or just about like Slack or Pearadox, that's also a really great way to get kind of more tied in closer with our team. And it's right on our website at gearboxgirls.weebly. So
Our next question is for anyone. Do you think it's important to have female mentors?
Yes. Yes. It's very important because it's somebody you can look up to. I mean, for me, I looked up to Kara a lot because she's just very relatable to who I was. And I could always just like, I was always very comfortable with her and just always, if I ever had any questions, it was I would always be comfortable.
I think
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Oh, you can go.
Okay, I definitely think that it's important to have female role models. I mean, having mentors as your role models is even better because you can like learn from them and you're in close contact with them. I mean, that's one of our big goals of the ice cream social. That's why we have those professionals there so that the girls can see these women who have found their passion in STEM. And they can look up to them and be like, wow, I can be that one day.
Great answers, everyone. Our next question is for anyone, and it is, what is the most successful way that you keep your team sustainable?
Sorry. I didn't know if that question was kind of in like referring to kind of sustainable in like recruiting girls or just like sustainability in general. But I guess if you're referring to like recruiting girls, I think something that's really important is not just kind of recruiting them. Although it's definitely important to make sure you're not exclusively recruiting boys. I think it's more important to make sure that when they join the team, the girls they feel comfortable and they feel like they found a safe space and a place that they're happy with what they're doing on the team. And I think by doing that, you'll really be able to retain your girl members more than just recruiting a lot of them and then having them trickle out.
yeah, just to build on that a little bit, on our team we actually have a community called Gearbox Girls. That's where we basically have weekly meetings on our team where we all get to have conversations and just kind of talk about how we're feeling and to check in. So I think that's definitely how one of the main ways we've been able to build a pretty strong girls community on our team. So I think it's important to have that type of thing on the team.
Our next question is for anyone. How do you attract female mentors?
So I think reaching out to companies and to schools is a good way to attract female mentors. I know from Girls of Steel, we reach out to companies and to students that go to Carnegie Mellon University to see if they would be interested in mentoring Girls of Steel, and just like coming from and explaining like mentoring a team and mentoring these girls on a robotics team can inspire them to continue with STEM and inspire future female engineers.
Something that our team has tried to do is reach out to different companies' women's group. Again, like we run an event kind of connecting women engineers and girls in FIRST, and it's helped a lot to be able to reach out to groups specifically working to kind of fix that gap as well, because a lot of the times they're really interested in what we're doing and they want to contribute in any way they can. So that could be also a good way to kind of attract female mentors.
And on our team, I know that a really good way that we attract female mentors is through parents of your team members. If your parents know, even if the dads of parents, if they have other colleagues at work who are females who are interested in your team, just always be looking out for that interest, especially whenever we're doing different outreach events. And if someone's interested, then maybe we can keep them as a contact for later if we need any resources, and just building on that network continuously.
Okay, our last question is, what is one final tip that you would give to aspiring girls in STEM? And any team can answer this question.
Be confident.
Just go for it.
I would say that whatever the girl wants to do. She should be creative, confident, and feel capable in doing it. If there's no like girls in the pathway, she should like be brave and go for it. Like it's hard to get into these things, but I think it's best if you just go for it, because if you don't try, then nobody else will try for you. So getting into those STEM fields can be a struggle, but I feel like it's the struggle that makes them fun.
Okay, thank you everyone for the questions and answers, and I'm going to turn it back over to Selena now.
All right. Thank you everyone so much for coming to First in Focus, and thank you Girls of Steel, Pearadox, and FTC Cookies for your great presentation.